Our next classic movie, AJ. We've got a lot of great movies this week, but let's talk about one that I know is near and dear to you, good sir. Very near and dear to you.
How far back are we going?
That's the unfortunate part. Because it's not 10, it's not 20. We got to go back 30 years, AJ, for one that is years. Something that's very near and dear to you. For character that is one of your favorite. In a certain realm, a death tax is in certain realm, it is your favorite character. Because AJ, 30 years old.
No.
Yes.
No.
Batman, Mask of the Phantasm is
okay.
30
I'm a bit more
years old.
Okay. I'm breathing a bit. For a minute, I thought it was Batman Forever, and I was like, "No way!" I was like, "I said that's 96." Okay.
We're not far.
We're not far, but I've still got some breathing space. There's only one way. There's only one way to answer to kick this off. There's only one way to kick this off. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah, there's only one way to kick that off. Look, my whole thing when it comes to the Mask of Phantasm and everything else that came through is you say this and 80s born, 90s made. X-Men, Spider-Man, Batman. There was no discussion. It's just what Saturday morning cartoons were.
Yep.
And Batman gradually, through, I know it's cheesy as hell, through the Adam West and everything else, I was more and Michael Keaton, I'm more familiar with Batman in terms of a backlog. You knew Spider-Man from a really weird 70s cartoon and maybe one of those 70s films where, we've reviewed it when we've done our ranking of Spider-Man.
Oh, the sumo fighting Spidey.
It's weird stuff. And then the 90s Spidey came up and X-Men was brand new to me because I hadn't read the comics. Batman had a long legacy. So maybe that's why Batman takes a bit more of a forefront. But it was also one of the most true to comic book cartoons you can get. It's such an awesome experience, even for someone who hadn't read comics. It was amazing. And, again, Kevin Conroy just brought it to life. And coming across Mask of Phantasm, I don't know if it was the same for you. I thought I was just watching a standard Batman episode. But it continued. It just was a very long episode. And again, now that we're saying 30 years in December, it felt like a Christmas treat. It was like, oh, there's a Christmas special of Batman. And that was it. We just moved on. We watched it, but I was like, oh, it's actually called The Mask of Phantasm. This is it's a movie. And it was just the greatest treat ever. I know I've got the DVD. It's been a while since I've watched it, but it was a great eye-opener. I think it'll be really exciting for me to see the trailer. I'm going to wait for your take and then really can't wait to see this trailer.
So my take's very different from yours because you've got to remember one thing. I only saw this movie for the first time 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't have that cartoon confusion that you did. But my take, in some ways, equally magical because, look, you mentioned the holy trinity of Saturday morning comic book cartoons. I think Batman was probably the best of the three. Not the most action-fueled, but definitely the best made. And it was really quite dark in some parts.
Oh, yeah, extremely.
Really dark. The opening, the first ever episode on Leather Wings when he goes up against Man-Bat, it's like, this is kid nightmare stuff, this. Really quite scary. And then, there's that episode where Harvey Dent becomes Two-Face and gets his face blown off. It's brutal. Child viewer beware type thing. So much so that you can even watch it as an adult and you're like, well, this is fantastic still to this day. This hasn't aged and it's not even nostalgia. This is just great. Mask of the Phantasm took all of the great dark mythology that the animated series created and kept that tone, arguably made it darker because, there's some legit deaths in this. The Phantasm doesn't mess around. And it kind of created a really nice prequel. It was almost like a year one type thing. Is that this is how he becomes Batman. He gets his heart broken and he was at a place in his life where he was like, well, Do I go through with what my parents wanted, which was me to be happy, get married? No, that didn't work out. Cool. I'm going to go and avenge them now, and I'm going to become this. So it's like, okay. And then we've got our first introduction of the Joker, voiced by Mark Hamill. And it's like, man, so Batman's essentially being framed for killing off various mob bosses. And the Joker's the one actually saying it's not him. Not for any good reason, just because he wants to get it. The bat! And it's such a great web of intrigue. And you're like, this isn't a cartoon. Like, you could do this as a live action movie and it would stick the landing perfectly. Like, talk about blending the culture of animation and live action. But yeah, it's really great. And as per request, AJ, here is the trailer for you. Let me load it up now. Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Here we go.
30 years, man. Where has life gone?
30 years, bro.
This Christmas, for the first time, America's most exciting and legendary motion picture hero
So
the screen like you've never seen him before. The Bat! In an all-new, larger-than-life feature film. Now, the Dark Knight confronts.
I love the fact that they've got the Danny Elfman soundtrack in there.
Yeah.
The Phantasm.
I want you.
And faces his greatest danger.
Can't be too careful with all those weirdos around.
All those weirdos around.
A new adventure. Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. The animated movie. Coming for a Christmas you'll never forget.
Chills, man.
So good, right?
Oh,
So
man.
damn good, right?
Oh, listen. Okay, I'm gonna give a ranking, and it's not gonna be 1 thumbs up. It's gonna be 2 thumbs up because I do need to see this film again. However, can I say the pairing of Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill is officially the greatest of all time. That is official GOAT status.
It is.
But yeah, again, one of the other things that I think we need to acknowledge is long before, like, people talk about DC can't make movies. This is one of the openers for the DC animated universe, and it's something, you know, it set the tone where people like DC they can't do films, but they can do awesome animated films. Like, obviously, we got your Dark Knights and what have you. But this was the beginning, you know, it's part of a legacy. This was the foundations of the DCAU. They just, it's amazing. It's amazing. Just seeing that trailer, the stature, the animation. Oh, it's warming. I think had I seen this film recently, it may have got GOAT. But it's a definite 2 thumbs up for me right now.
You've always loved it more than I have, and I really do love it. I'm going to give it 1 thumb up on the simple basis that the one, without giving anything away, just in case 30 years on you still haven't seen it. Hey, one of the younger viewers may be watching and being like, "Oh, Batman film." You never know. I knew who the Phantasm was within the first 10 minutes, and you know what I'm like when I've guessed who.
Yeah.
If you see it, it's a Veers thing, you know. If I've got it, I'm like, okay, let's just get there then. So that's the big negative, and that's not because the movie did anything bad. It's just that, yeah, in some twists in some movies, people join the dots quickly, and some don't. When Captain Marvel, you got it, and I was like, oh, no, I didn't get it. It didn't click with me. Anya guessed the ending of The Usual Suspects in the first 10 minutes. And I was like, well, that's really annoying that you've done that. You've kind of deprived yourself of the great reveal. That's your problem that you have to deal with. I guessed Phantasm really quickly. I was like, well, I know who you are. Like, it's pretty obvious to me. And that took a bit away from it. But there's no... The one thing you can't take anything away from, we're going to be careful out here with all the freaks out there. That's Mark Hamill's Joker and Kevin Conroy's Batman. It's just stuff of legend, dude. So the adult story in it is great. the reveal I saw coming a mile off, the on-screen animation chemistry and voice acting, that's GOAT status, as you said. The movie as a whole, thumb up for me.
Fair play.